applause for that video. It's always great to see us in action. Welcome everybody to our annual meeting titled We've Got Each Other. That's a very fitting title for this year because we've been through a lot together as an organization, ups, downs, a wild election, COVID-19, and I think this year more than ever, we showed that we've got each other and we show up for each other as Westsiders. And this year, seeing how each and every one of you have shown up for each other and shown up at WSCO, it makes me really proud to work at WSCO and be a Westsider. I want to remind you all, I'm also Michael McDowell. I'm the scorecard organizer at WSCO, if you don't know. A reminder, if you're watching on someone else's computer and you didn't register for the event yourself and you want to vote later on in this meeting in the board elections, please sign up in the Google form. Leah, if you could post that in the chat. All the attendees should be able to see this. If you click on the Google form, you'll be able to vote. And now I want to introduce Jamela Pettiford, who will be grounding us in a beautiful land acknowledgement.
Sacred land. Ooh. 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 This is sacred land. This is sacred land. This is sacred land. This is sacred land. Ooh. This is sacred land. At the shore, we seen you. We welcomed you to the table to share the fruits of our labor with you. We taught you how to live off the land. Then you came in with your clan, taking our women, our children, and our land. Ooh, 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 this is sacred land. You see our tree, she stands there for centuries. She's seen our past. I wonder, will she see our future, this tree? Sacred tree, many nights we use you as our marker, but then you come with your caravans and your guns, your diseases, and you take what belongs to we, and then the earth begins to change form from our bodies, laying on top of each other to build your choo-choo, to build your choo-choo. We had to die Ooh, ooh. So I sing this tribute to you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So I sing this tribute to you. Spirit of water, spirit of the tree, spirit of the earth, live in me. Spirit of the water, spirit of the tree, spirit of the earth, live in me. What will you drink when you're thirsty? And what will you breathe when there is no trees? And where will you live if you destroy the earth? May your greed come after thee. Ooh, 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 ooh. This is sacred land. This is sacred land. This is sacred land. This is sacred land.
Thank you so much, Jamila.
Yes, thank you so much, Jamila. Much appreciated for that very moving tribute. My name is Martin Hernandez. I want to thank you all attending. Before we get started, I also want to acknowledge, normally the tradition is we do this in person, and we are provided with chili from Captain Ken's. So we want to acknowledge that some folks who registered early got, about 100 people got chili for the first 100 folks who registered from Captain Ken. So we want to thank John Traxler for that. Again, my name is Martin Hernandez. I use the pronouns of he, him, and his, and I serve as your board chair of the Westside Community Organization.
Yes. Again, I want to thank you, Jamila, for the gift that of your song, Sacred Land, and your presence and the labor. Thank you so much. I'm still like centering myself from your song. Hi, everyone. My name is Bahia. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your vice chair for the Westside Community Organization. I'm incredibly humbled and excited to be in this virtual community with you all. There's over 100 people calling in, and it's awesome to be able to connect in a way and when we have to be distant physically.
So it's 2020, and I would imagine none of us figured out we'd be where we're at right now. I didn't a year ago. We have a worldwide pandemic. We have uprisings in the streets over the killing of Black, Indigenous, and people of color and others. We have an unprecedented election turnout recently, and including a big turnout on the West Side.
So much more right now seems possible and impossible, and there's so much that we don't know about our future. But what I do know is that we got us. We've got each other, and that's the theme this year for this annual meeting. And you'll hear more about why that is later.
while we may not have been able to predict where we were at right now, we do have a possibility to think of what's happening in the future. So we want to take a few minutes here to imagine our future here on the West Side.
There is so much power in imagining collectively. It takes courage. It takes a deep belief that the world can and should change. Imagination is not just about dreaming of our collective future. It's about bringing those dreams and imaginings back from the future to the work of the present, to inspire action, to inspire acts of solidarity right now. This work is the work of time travel. It's the work of science fiction.
So we're asking you to lean into some science fiction and time travel with us. Lean into your inner Octavia Butler, your inner Jules Verne. Close your eyes, lower your gaze, and settle into your seat in whatever position is most comfortable. Imagine that the year is 2040, 20 years from now. What do you see on the West Side? What do you smell? What do you hear? What do you feel? Put it in the chat. And when you do put it in the chat, please acknowledge the setting that says everyone, participants, panelists, and participants or attendees, or however it's noted when you go into the chat.
When asked what I imagine and can hear and feel and smell in 2040 here on the West Side, I hear the laughter of children. I hear neighbors talking to each other, talking about community care. I see deeply affordable housing that has tenant unions. I see more small businesses that acknowledge the culture and the power of our diversity here on the West Side, and so much more. I'm seeing in the chats tree, higher density, crowded living conditions, neighbors out on the streets, knowing each other and helping each other out, more food and restaurants, clean air, vibrant and beautiful community, systems of mutual aid, lush gardens that feed us all, and there's so much more. Look at all of us imagining together. Check out all of the stuff that's being put in the chat. It's incredibly beautiful. Now, I want you to transport yourself, lean into some more time travel, to the year of 2025. That's 5 years from now. You have been able to see the future. We've been imagining it collectively, but we know that future doesn't just happen. We have to put in the work to get there. And it will take all of us coming together and finding and figuring out what our role is in that. So 5 years from now, what step have you taken? What leadership role have you stepped into? What risk have you leaped towards to build our dreams of 2040?
So we want you to imagine yourself in that risky role. What does it feel like? Who else is with you? Hopefully in 5 years, right now, some of us can't even get close to each other. Some of us can't hug. So hopefully we'll be hugging again even sooner than 5 years and hang out with each other. Say that person's name out loud, who you're with and how you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm with you, Martin. 5 years, working in solidarity together. So getting to that risky role, the role that you're thinking of now, that risky thing you feel like you have to do, that role that is meant for you in this work, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, it takes making mistakes, it takes failing, then learning lessons and getting back into it. It takes rest, it takes radical solidarity with people you don't know. So to get there, what are you going to do today, this week, next month, to take a small step to get to that place? Oh, you're muted, Martin.
That's what WSCO is all about. This is your home of solidarity, finding your self-determination alongside other West Siders to build the world we deserve, what our children deserve, what our ancestors deserve.
So Thank you for leaning into some science fiction and time travel with us. I want to remind you that you don't have to worry if you don't feel clear after these few minutes of imagining your role. It's not expected to get that clear. Just know that we'll figure it out because we've got each other.
Thank you. Thank you, Bahia. It's been an honor working with you in this last year, as well as others. I want to remind folks in the chat again, if you want to chat with everybody, please select all panelists and attendees, or if you just want to talk to the panelists, just select panelists, but you want to hear everybody, all panelists and attendees. With that, I would like to pass it off to Monica Bravo, our illustrious executive director. She's why I'm here when I met her 3 years ago. La jefa mera mera, Monica Bravo. Thank you so much.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. I am Monica Bravo. I'm the executive director here at WSCO, and I'm humbled and honored to be entrusted in this role and to work alongside all of the amazing people who enter into WSCO. Before I go into a little bit more of what I wanted to say, I would like to acknowledge tonight that we do have our city council member, Councilmember Naker, with us tonight. We also have from the mayor's office, city staff joining us tonight, and I just wanted to acknowledge you in this space. Thank you for participating with us. So I'm so glad that you've chosen to stay home tonight and to join us, and I can only encourage you to continue to do so. Please continue to stay home. I want to share with you some reflections of this past year and the work at WSCO, the vision and the hope that we have, that we've dared to dream for our future. It's 2020, and it's been a challenging year, to say the least. We set out this year with plans, as I'm certain many of you have, and we watched the global news unfold of the COVID-19 pandemic in other countries. And when March of 2020 hit, we realized all of our plans were going to have to change. We now know that we are living in historic times. And who would have thought that we would be here today, raising our children through a global health pandemic, mass uprisings, political and economic unrest. The year has been heart-wrenching for so many of us. But what we do know, without a doubt, is that our community is strong. And we have survived in times of crisis in the past, and we will survive and flourish yet again. We know that we can show up for each other and redistribute resources in a spirit of abundance because we know that we are all interconnected. We're entering a new time. We're entering a new era. This year, I don't know about you, this year was the first time that I've listened to a Black woman share the gift of song that acknowledges the land, a song that was created in solidarity with her native sister, a song that to me cries out that we're going to rise up together in solidarity, and we will no longer accept the conditions as they have been. The days where we no longer accept exploitation and subpar living conditions, unfair wages, mass incarcerations, and mass deportations, and the slow genocide of oppressed people, it's coming to an end. Historically, in times of crisis, we have learned that the practices of exploiters rise while folks are busy figuring out how to feed themselves, their families, or pay their rents and meet their basic needs. But also, history has shown us in times of crisis, people can come together to make massive changes. Clarity comes, and deeper understanding of the systems can be analyzed. Who's benefiting in times of crisis, and who are the most vulnerable? Economic power, influence, and progress come from the people. We are that power. Moving forward, WSCO will take the lessons learned in times of crisis, and we will move deeper into a shared racial, economic, and class analysis. This crisis has made it abundantly clear, more clear in the amount of suffering that we see the division of those who have and those who have not. More clearly do we see that we will all do better when the solutions come from those who have been directly impacted. During the pandemic, many things were forced to stop and shut down, but this community's resilience moved forward. In this year, we entered powerfully with fellow Westside renters and community partners into the public arena to shift the power of the status quo and pass a citywide tenant protections ordinance with some of the most powerful protections to be implemented in the state and the region, coming in March of 2021. Together with your generosity and with community partners, we raised $60,000 for rental relief for our most vulnerable and unsupported community members. With you, during the height of the unrest, we were able to pivot our focus and provide food resources for over 500 families. We were able to complete the Robert Street pedestrian mural, and at its very core, the mural depicts what our neighborhood is: vibrant, joyful, and resilient. WSCO received national recognition for the completion of our Westside scorecard. The work is ongoing, and we have once again centered ourselves as the little organization that can. In late February of 2020, WSCO scorecard passed the City of St. Paul Planning Commission. And after months of attorneys' reviews and stakeholders' convenings, we demonstrated that we as a neighborhood organization can utilize city processes to ensure that the vision and the values with development entering into our neighborhood is consistent with the existing culture, with community, and economics. At its core, the tool of the scorecard is about who benefits when development comes to the West Side. During the time of this pandemic, we uplifted our rich resources of parks and trails. We explored the use of electric cars, and I'm pleased to announce that the West Side will be the host, one of the host neighborhoods for the electric car sharing hubs coming in 2021. We were able to provide micro grants to local businesses for the upkeep and repair of their establishments. And in December, we will continue to support our local businesses by providing a small amount of relief funds, and we ask you to frequent our local businesses as often as possible in this time. As we look into 2021, we will continue to move forward. We have a bold vision that is grounded in our values of human dignity and abundance. In 2021, we will be launching a grassroots effort towards a public ballot initiative process in the city of St. Paul for rental stabilization. We will continue to advocate fiercely for the funding and investment in life-affirming public safety, both in our neighborhood and beyond. We will explore the possibility of community shared solar energy in our neighborhood and so much more. These are only a few of the ambitious goals that we have, but we know that together we can steer the future of our neighborhood. And so I invite you in, if you've been inspired, if you're energized and you're ready to roll up your sleeves together, I invite you into WSCO, and I thank you for this time.
Thank you so much, Monica. We appreciate you so much. So I want to start by saying it's very important that we celebrate our wins. The scorecard and the scorecard cohort are just two of the many wins this year that we've had as an organization. as you heard Monica talk about the many things that WSCO has done this year. So the Westside Equitable Development Scorecard is a document, like Monica was saying, that was adopted in March, and we weren't able to properly celebrate that, which made me sad due to COVID and our world going virtual. And now we want to give it the proper recognition it deserves. So we told the city and the state that we are the deciders, Westsiders are the deciders of what happens in our community. And by creating the Westside Equitable Development Scorecard, it's a mouthful, but we'll get it, a little tongue twister, Westside Equitable Development Scorecard. So, like I said, we told the city and the state that we are the deciders of what happens in our community by creating the Westside Equitable Development Scorecard. And that's just powerful. And you all did that. We did that, and the Westside did that. And because of your work, we've become the model for how equitable development is done in our state. And I want to thank you for that, because that's big. So just diving into this cohort. So we had a selection process where Westsiders were able to apply to be on the scorecard team, and WSCO chose people from each precinct to be on this team to ensure all development coming into the West Side is equitable and adds to our already vibrant community. Our scorecard cohort is made up of 10 people right now. Eventually it'll be 12. We have each from one of the 4 precincts on the West Side. And to be on the team, you had to commit to 2 years. So everyone on this team has committed to be working with the scorecard and sitting down with developers for the next 2 years. And our scorecard team is made up of, like I said, 10 members. And I actually want to let you know who they are. Leah, if you could pull up that slide with the scorecard members so you can see their beautiful pictures. So this is just a few of them. As I said, there were 10. We have Mackenzie Dolo Tolstoy in precinct 14. We have Jesus Ramirez in precinct 13. We have Dan Collin in precinct 15. We have Mario Paez in precinct 12. We have Hill Simonson in precinct 13. We have Ariel Mendoza in precinct 13 as well. Luis Ortega in precinct 13. And then we have Leticia Silva in precinct 15. We have Kareem Smith in precinct 13. And then we have Kristen Riva in precinct 14. I want to close before I pass it and just say this isn't easy work to do at all, especially during COVID. So I want to applaud and uplift this team and the scorecard, because these are both wins for WSCO. And like I said, it's important that we celebrate our wins. We have a powerful tool to create equitable development and a dedicated team to make it happen. And I want to applaud our work as an organization and applaud the scorecard team, because we're making beautiful things happen. On that note, I want to pass it to our VP, Bahia.
Hello again. So again, my name is Bahia. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the vice chair of the Westside Community Organization. And the work that Monica and Michael have just shared that we have done here at WSCO and on the West Side with our neighbors is why I'm so invested in WSCO. The community members, my neighbors, the businesses are all the reasons I love the West Side. I love the West Side so much because we are a community that says and shows that we love and that we got each other. From the community care that we have seen from West Siders as COVID continues to impact our neighbors by leaving so many families without the ability to make rent and put food on the table. To the commitment to equitable development that Michael shared with us that is grounded in community knowledge and expertise. We have shown time and time again that we got us. As a young, queer, immigrant, Latinx woman of color that grew up and exists in a world where I'm told I don't belong, where I'm told I don't know what's best for me, and decisions are made about me without me. I have found my experience in the world is a similar experience to many West Siders and a similar experience to our collective community. When I began working at WSCO as the organizer and then moved onto the West Side and became a board member, I not only found affirmation to what I've experienced in the world that continues to dismiss us, affirmation, but I found also a pathway out of this world and to the world that we deserve, the world that affirms and cares for us. We have seen and experienced how our community is forgotten, how decisions that impact our lives are made without our input. WSCO has been and will continue to be what disrupts that every single day. We see these decisions in the corporate development that seeks to build unaffordable luxury housing on the West Side and throughout St. Paul, which threatens to displace our neighbors and our community members. We are up against powerful institutions, and we continue to be defending, fighting, and organizing for what we deserve. We deserve so much. We deserve to have housing built in our neighborhood that is affordable, that is owned by the people that live there. We deserve and rent stabilization. We need and deserve police accountability. We need and deserve investment in our public transit system here on the West Side. We need and deserve investment in our public schools and so much more. And to get there, I'm going to tell you we need 3 things. We need organized people, organized ideas, and organized money. To us at WSCO, that is building collective community power. We have seen that we have built immense people power. We see that in how many people have taken action with us, all of you showing up tonight. We've come together to win protections for tenants. And as a renter myself, I know this is going to improve my security and safety. We've come together to develop a scorecard that is grounded in what we deserve. And developers are now coming to us. The city and the state is coming to us, like Michael said. And we have been and can continue to provide the support that our small businesses need and deserve. That's power. But we need to build more. We have to. It's imperative that we do. We have to build more power. Our futures depend on it. My future depends on it. So I'm here to ask you, will you build power with us? Will you join me right now? And I am asking you to join me right now in either making a one-time $200 contribution to WSCO, or as someone who does not have that much money in the bank, I'm asking you to match me in making a sustaining monthly contribution of $25 a month. Because we know in making this choice to donate, to making this choice to invest money, we know what's at stake and what's possible when we build power. So in the chat, you'll see that Leah provided a link. And if you're watching on Facebook, hello, we will also be providing the link to our donation page. And before you go there, before you click on that link, and maybe you already have, which is wonderful, can you share in the chat? Share with us, how much are you contributing? Or if you are contributing to supporting this work. I want to uplift those commitments out loud. So it looks like Leah Porter's in. Made donation earlier. Yes. Joy is committed. $250, $25 a month. Yes. Amazing. Keep sharing if you're committed, how much you are committing if you'd like to. And we'll keep putting the donation link into the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bahia. Awesome. And so I want to acknowledge everyone donating. Continue to post if you're willing, what you're willing to donate in the chat box. It's just great building some team camaraderie. We're all in it together. So it's that time of the year again, the WSCO Annual Meeting Awards. We got some fun surprises for you. So each year it has been a WSCO tradition to present the West Side residents for their outstanding contributions to the community. The spirit of the West Side, the spirit of this award is to honor those who work collaboratively in the community with dedication to the values of the West Side. And that's a lot of you, so thank you. Recipients have worked with other residents on behalf of the West Side, regularly volunteered on the West Side, or to the benefit of the West Side residents, provided significant leadership on major issue or activity during the past year or over a series of years. A lot of folks have been active in WSCO for a while. We love you. And made valuable contributions to the West Side. So this year, WSCO received a number of nominations. Thank you for everyone who sent in their nominations. And it was a challenging selection process because we got a good number of folks nominated. And as a result tonight, we'll hand out 3 distinct awards. So the first award is the Spark of the West Side Award, which is an award given to someone who has sparked joy on the West Side over the past year. I love this story. So during the height of the pandemic, our section of the neighborhood was mysteriously love bombed by pinwheels. They began to pop up overnight in yards, and as weeks went by, more and more sprung up. Little spinning signals that joy could exist in such a hard time. Every morning, more and more neighbors awoke to find pinwheels planted in their front yard. Over 1,400 spinning pinwheels made their way across the West Side. They provided a much needed source of community connection. Through this award process, we learned that in the midst of these dark days and isolating hours, one dear neighbor thought it too much to hold and had reached her limit and planned to take her life. As she was about to send her goodbye letter in the mail, she opened her door and found a brightly colored spinning flower pinwheel, a symbol of whimsical defiance to fear and isolation, and it gave her hope again. This account gave us all the more reason to lift up and honor this random act of joy and love. May we all be inspired by such deeds. Much communal detective work traced the source to a little boy and his grandfather and his grandmother, who under the cover of night took it upon themselves to make their neighborhood smile. With gratitude, WSCO presents this 2020 Spark of the West Side Award to Peyton Ortiz and his grandfather, Dan Wolf, and mother, Anna Wolf. Because our annual meeting is virtual, here's a video of Peyton, Dan, and Anna receiving their award.
We're here to surprise the West Side Spark Award to a West Sider who really sparked joy in one of our darkest hours. So we're going to knock on the door and give this granddad and grandson an award for investing in our community and just bringing so much joy. Woo!
Woo! Congratulations! Yay!
We wanted to give you this award for your for what you guys did for our community, for just being outside yourself and investing in the community and just sparking so much joy. It was our darkest hour, and we had you all to look forward to. You're welcome. And here is a gift.
Thank
you.
Yay!
Thank you so much for your act of kindness. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo!
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
On Thursday night, you'll be featured.
Yep, there's a link, right?
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's so great. I love seeing these folks get their awards. So now, the second award is the Heart of the West Side Award. The nominator for this award writes, "The West Sider is the most passionate West Sider that I know, working endlessly to better our community. His incredible art that teaches culture, language, history, and that advocates for a more just society for all can be seen all over the West Side, from the tattoo shop to murals, to electrical boxes and more. He is ready and willing to help anyone at the drop of a hat, fixing neighbors' cars, offering rides, running errands, helping at events, doing it all. When he sees a problem, particularly one that negatively impacts the community, this person works tirelessly to rectify it. Each year, he volunteers his efforts for the annual Cinco de Mayo and Dios de los Muertos celebration, sharing his love for his culture and with the community. This year, in fact, he knew that COVID-19 would inhibit our annual community gatherings and subsequently spent countless hours creating a much larger than life art installation, a calavera, and a community altar. It was beautiful. I hope that everyone here was able to visit it. Jesus Ramirez is a tremendous human being, one who truly embodies the spirit of the community. No one is more deserving of the recognition that WSCO is giving. WSCO is proud to honor the contributions and recognitions of your limitless passion to the community, Jesus, with the Heart of the West Side Award. Here's a presentation of Jesus being presented with his award.
Hello, hello. Red carpet? Whoa, come check this out. Look at it. So, what is this?
Jesse, for all your hard work in the neighborhood, for being a brother to so many people on the west side,
Oh.
for all the times you've helped out and volunteered without getting paid on the west side, for your beautiful art projects, especially the one here on the one at for Day of the Dead. The west side has chosen you to present to you the Heart of the West Side Award through the West Side from the West Side Community Organization and the community, Corazón del West Side. So we'd like to present this to Jesse.
I'd like to accept this on behalf of all the artistas that don't get paid and just stay up all night and paying for their neighborhood, for their barrio. I'd like to receive this for all the jóvenes that inspire me and all the people in the community that do a lot of work, those that get out of their house and come out here and do things like this. I love you guys. You guys are really why I do it. So that's what's up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, the fancy stuff and the good M&Ms and all the peanuts inside. Yeah.
You almost didn't get that. I was
You gonna snag it up? Is that what you yeah. Thank you, everybody. Yay.
Gotta love Jesus. Gotta love Jesus. So finally, last but not least, WSCO presents the West Sider of the Year Award. This person has long deserved this award for a multitude of contributions and service in the West Side. She has lived on the West Side for 20 plus years. She has volunteered countless hours and dedicated decades of selfless service to our community. She never wants to be in the spotlight or limelight or anything like that, or take credit. In early 2003, she was a critical contributor in the creation of the All Around the Neighborhood program, a program that centered the idea that people in the neighborhood have knowledge and wisdom to share and pass it on. The innovative program ran until 2012, where literally hundreds of West Side kids had a place to go all summer long for free to learn and explore summertime activities and have an after-school program. She also worked with the first West Side Family Center and contributed her creative talents in a number of programs. She was instrumental in creating the West Side Youth Guides, a leadership program that developmentally for young people on the West Side between the ages of 11 and 13. She is one of the early members of the anti-racism dialogue circles. She is an unfailing advocate for racial and economic justice. Maria walks the talk of being an ally and she was and still is part of the founding members of the Facilitating Racial Equity Collaborative, and helped start the Overcoming Racism Conference from the basement of her church. Cherokee Park United, today, you can call and count on her anytime to march in solidarity for justice, show up at a city hall and make some noise, or silently hold up a sign. You can find her most weekends at the Westside Farmers Market, faithfully stationing the information table every week, unless she's at a table gathering donations for local Black, Indigenous, POC-led organizations, as she did so for a couple weeks. She seems to know everyone on the West Side and is always attentive to how we can pool our community resources to support one another and strengthen the West Side. It is our privilege to present the 2020 West Sider of the Year Award to Maria McNamara.
You come out. Yes. Congratulations.
Woo!
Our West Sider of the Year. 2021.
That is so
Hi, from one West Sider of the Year to another. We just want to honor you and thank you so much for over 20 years of just investing in our community. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you.
Here you go.
So sweet and so.
This was your red carpet.
What?
That was your red carpet.
Congratulations!
That's so beautiful. We have to celebrate people while they're here. It's important to give people their flowers while they're alive and breathing, and you can see them. We need that. Celebrate the wins. So now, another exciting time in this meeting, we're gonna move into our board elections. And so I'm gonna bring up, bring up their video. It's a weird way to say it, we're all virtual. Monica Bryant, ex officio board member, to lead us in this process.
Oh, great. Well, gosh, it's hard to follow that. That was amazing. But here we are. This is actually the annual meeting is where we actually pick the people who do the hard work, the behind the scenes work to make these things happen, along with all the community volunteers. I was a board member for about 7 years, and that was like 15 years ago, and I'm still involved. I'm currently the ex officio. I support Monica and board members wherever needed. I will always be connected to WSCO. So tonight, we are going to pick three new there's three openings on the board. And so what we're going to do is, if you've registered, we're going to have instructions for you on how to vote. There are 5 people who have currently put their name in to be nominated. And what we usually do when we're together is we talk about the candidates that have already put their name in. You can see their bios. What I want to ask right now is if there is anyone on the meeting, folks that live on the West Side and are over 16 years old. If you are interested in running for the board, could you please put your name into the chat now so we can add you? What we would ask you to do is to do a 2-minute speech on why you would want to be a board member for WSCO. Board members serve a 3-year term. And again, this is the work that people don't see. These board members come to monthly meetings, they are on committees, and they're doing the hard work of keeping WSCO going and strong. So any other folks that are interested, we'll say going once. I would say you could nominate, somebody asked if they could nominate somebody who is unable to attend, but who I know intended to apply. You can put their name. Well, actually, I'm going to defer to Monica because they can't consent to this. I don't know if you can actually put them in. What I would say is if this person is interested in getting involved, there are ways to be connected to WSCO, and this would be a great way to volunteer and then be ready for the board, applying for the board next year. So that's what I would say. So I'm going to say twice. Is there anybody else interested? 3 times. Okay. So what we're going to do is, I don't know if we have everybody here that's going to talk. We might have some videos, but the board members that are speaking in order, let's start with Kia Moa.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, my name is Kia Moa, and I use the pronouns she and her. I have lived here on the West Side with my family for the past 14 years. And I have been on the board as the secretary for the past 2 years. I would be proud to serve this community for another term so that I can be part of doing the work towards reaching a more equitable and beloved community so that we all can feel like we belong. I'm proud of the work that WSCO has accomplished so far and the impact from individual families to our influence to becoming models for nationwide organizations. I think that's really something we should be proud of. And I'm very proud to be part of that. I hope to be able to continue to be able to serve on the WSCO board for another term. I hope you vote for me, and thank you for the opportunity to build power with my community. Great to be here with everyone.
Thank you, Kia. And then somebody asked, could all 5 be on the board? And we only have 3 slots, but what happens is we have alternates. So, you know, whoever the 3 are, you know, they're chosen, but the other 2 or potentially 3 will become alternates, and they could move up into positions of being on the board if somebody can't fulfill their board term. So I just want to say you will only be able to vote for 3. And there is so much wisdom in all the folks that are applying. So next on the list, next is Sebastian Elfson. So Sebastian, you're up. We can hear you.
There we go. Hello, my name is Sebastian Elfson. My pronouns are he, him. When my wife Sarah and I got married, we knew we wanted to return to Minnesota to start our family here. We chose to set our roots in the West Side because we wanted a place to live where community and progressive values mattered. My wife Sarah is an ESL teacher here at Humboldt High on the West Side. We have a 2-year-old daughter named Rita. Here she is. Who goes to daycare here in the neighborhood. And we have one more baby on the way, due in less than a month. So that's exciting. I'm Sebastian. I'm a public interest attorney and a co-founder of my own business, helping people vote informed on every election, called Ballot Ready. Perhaps you used us in the last election. I've been working all my adult life helping people, whether that is helping them negotiate with banks and get out of foreclosures, advising them in starting their own small business, or preventing unlawful evictions. I'm running for the WSCO board because I believe that social justice means recognizing systematic oppression of marginalized people and opposing it. I believe in science and trusting experts, but I also believe that decisions need to have genuine local participation and inclusion to be legitimate. And I believe that reasonable people can disagree, but that dismissing people as crazy or stupid never moves things forward. And I will always work with everyone and never denigrate anyone. I'm incredibly excited to try to jump in and be a WSCO board member. So my name is Sebastian Elfson, and I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sebastian. We are going to come back to the person, to Marcus. So Marcus, be ready. Right now in the queue is Teresa Zafiro Day, and I probably messed your name up wrong. So, Teresa, you're up.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Teresa Zafiro Day. Oh, I just got joined by my little one. Hang on, come say hi. Hi. I'm here with you with my baby Jaden. We are relatively new West Siders. We've actually lived here about a year, so really humbly here applying for the board. I'm a social worker, and I work in child protection for the Red Lake Nation. So I work with tribal members off reservation, working for family reunification, family preservation. I have about 10 years experience in nonprofits, working in grant writing, working with newly arrived refugees, and a number of other community-based programs, including program development. So, baby, I'm done. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you.
I love you, baby.
So at the end of this, we will have instructions on how to vote. You'll be sent a link. So I just want to, let everybody know. Any last words, Teresa?
No, again, I'm just humbled to be a homeowner here on the West Side. My values are community, social justice, racial justice, and I would love to humble myself to serving the community.
Great, thank you. Next is Mario Paez.
Come here, baby.
All right, Mario, you're up.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Mario Paez. I've been a resident of the West Side for many, many years. My grandparents migrated here as migrant farm workers from probably 70 years ago, and resided on the West Side Flats. And so long time history, there's been a lot of movement throughout that time within our family. And, I'm inspired just by the fact that we've been living here, my wife and I, Nancy, and our 3 kids, and just inspired by what the community has done for them, for our family. And I want to do more, right, in terms of just promoting equality, justice, and just love for the community. And we see that day in and day out, but because of the polarization that's occurring within our country, within our community, there's a need to just be to double up on that. And so, my background, I work in risk management and cybersecurity, bringing a perspective from, my educational background and how that's propelled me. I just see that as a means for continued strength and sustainability for our kids, for our kids' kids. And we're powerful in our diversity. So I really am inspired by that. The West Side is the only place I would want to live in Minnesota.
Mm.
Alone for the rest of the country. Don't tell my wife that, but especially during the wintertime. But I'm encouraged. I mean, I'm part of the WSCO scorecard as well, and I've just been inspired by the people that I'm working with and trying to create sustainable development, realizing that we need the tax base, but then also balancing that out with the justice and equality that we need for affordable housing in our community. And so this is a marathon, not a sprint. But we realize that we need to make some quick actions with a lot of people in need right now, especially under the pandemic. So I'm humbled. Thank you for having me this time. And again, go WSCO. I'm inspired by this time. So thank you.
Wow. So thank you. So far, awesome. We have such great community members. WSCO is going to benefit from anybody who gets on this board.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
There. Yes.
Okay, hello. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It's okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. My name is Marcus Troy. I'm a longtime West Side resident. My family came over here, I think it was 1972. I went to middle school, graduated from Humboldt in 79. I grew up on the West Side. This is my home. This is where my family and friends are, and this is the neighborhood community that I care about. I suffered a stroke in 2007. But once I was able to recover, I was able to study law. I'm actually trying to finish up my bachelor's degree and get involved with WSCO. Once I've always known about the advocates on the West Side, Gilbert Delao, Donnie Luna, Larry Lucio, my basketball, football, the whole community itself. I'm an activist, advocate for social and judicial rights after a bad experience I had with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Department in 2010. My goal here, why I'm asking for your support to be a member on the panel, I want to add my voice, efforts, and networking skills to the current, past, and future supporters that are and will continue to fight for what's right in our rights as community members and family on St. Paul's West Side. I'm humbly asking for your support. The West Side is and always will be my home. Most of the people, my nickname is a ref. Before my stroke, I became a high school and college sports official, so I officiated most of the West Side kids growing up from the boosters, high school, some that made it to college. So I'm very proud of that. WSCO is, once I'm becoming more and more knowledgeable about them and their effort to just improve the community I live in, I want to add whatever I can to their efforts and hopefully just keep it going, keep the movement going. And I'll be very proud to continue to support my community, my neighbors, and WSCO. So thank you very much for your consideration.
All right, thank you, Marcus. So everybody, if you've ever been to a WSCO annual meeting, you would know that the time from voting to know who we're actually going to get to be a board member is about an hour, hour and a half. But because of technology, it's only going to take about 5 minutes or so. So you've all should have received a link to vote. And we're going to just take your time. There's so many great people here. And just remember that the others are going to become alternates. And so we definitely want to get them involved in WSCO. I am going to do my vote right now. So I'm going to just do my little camera here and do my vote. I'll be right back. Just give me a couple minutes. I'm still waiting.
With that, I'll just go ahead and do the, we can do the close really quickly, so that the final thing will be the vote, actually, so we can get you out of here. So I want to thank you all for coming out and joining us on this call. Like Bahia said, we had over 100 attendees. That's big, and y'all did that, constantly showing how you show up and you show out, and it makes me very proud to be a West Sider. And like we talked about throughout this whole meeting, we've been through ups and downs. We've been through a wild election. We're dealing with COVID right now, and we're still able to show up and be West Side strong. And that makes me really proud, and I appreciate all of you. We want to keep everyone involved and in the know around what WSCO is doing. So we have a commitment sheet that we're going to post in the chat box. We also want folks to be following the website, so we'll post a link to the website as well. Sign up for our newsletter, and you can register for that on the website. So if you visit the website, there'll be a space for you to sign up for our newsletter. You also can read a little bit more about the scorecard cohort and their bios. And I want to invite you all to attend our next Voices meeting. It's going to be December 8th, where we'll actually be having a presentation from another developer. We're still locking that down, but that's the plan for December. So I'd love to see all your faces there. And with that, I appreciate you all being at this meeting. And I'm going to pass it back to Monica Bryan.
Yeah. So Kia Mua will still be on the WSCO board. So congratulations, Kia. Teresa is next in line. And then Mario is, so those are the 3 slots for the board. And then Sebastian and Marcus are alternates. And I hope that they will be just as involved with the board and follow along. So great board meeting. Thanks to the committee that put this meeting together, and just all the hard work that WSCO's been doing this year and in the past. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.